know what I'm saying? What's up, peeps? How y'all doing? Good evening, everybody. Let's hop on in here, man, and have a good night. Come on in here. Let me say hi. You know how we do it. Say hi to a few of you guys. As I see your name come across the screen, I'm going to say hi. Y'all say hello back. What's up, Mary Hudson? Zachary Williams, what's up, man? We got Miss Meek on, Dorietta, Keyshawn. We got Jacob J. We got Toye. We got Smallwood. We got Brittany. How y'all doing? Alicia, Marche, Leah, Tiffany, Cantaria. Got Marietta. We got Devitra. How y'all doing? Mike B in the house. C in the house. Sharmanique on. Ebony on. Rokita on. Latasha on. Mother Retta on. Jaquita on. Shafunda on. Dominique on. What's happening? Gia on. Eureka. Karen. Miss Sheila, Touche's on, Mac on, Ashley on. What's happening? Corey in. How y'all doing, Corey? Jennifer Jenkins. What's up, Jennifer? We have Sharmika, the new member. Let's thank God for Sharmika coming in the fold. We just thank God for her coming in and being a part of this thing, man. We just thank God for her. Lawrence is in here. Amber, what's going on? Let me hop right into this thing, man. I want to. What's up, Thomas? What's going on, Thomas? Man, good to see you, man. And so we want to jump right here for a good teaching tonight. Shantae, Jasmine, everybody. Hey, listen. So what we need to do, we got 75 people on. Let's get to only 48 likes. Now, y'all know I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't know why y'all do me like this every week. Let's get these numbers up. It's 80 of you guys on. At least should be 80 likes or share likes. Come on, go ahead and do that right now. What's up, Q, Quantinet, Amy, what's happening? What's going on? And so we're going to jump into this night. I just want to have a teaching that's going to challenge you on tonight and to let us get in here. Let's go ahead and share this video, share it, and invite somebody to watch it. Dr. Mimi is on. Y'all will say what's up to Dr. Mimi. What's up, Dennis? We still love you, man. We just miss you. We would like to see you sometime. Dennis, Pastor Marcus is back from out of town. Him and Pastor Kim. Apostle Ezra is on. Let's give it up for Apostle Ezra, man. He's a great man of God. Let's give it up for him. and Pastor Kalinda, man, there's some great people. Yakima is on. What's happening, Yak? Sherry, how you doing, Sherry? We miss you, Sherry. Let's jump in here, man. What's up, Lee? Got Lee in here too. Lee, man, we're so happy you're part of D8, man. All of you guys, man. Miss Vivian is on. Hey, tonight we want to continue the series entitled Let's Get High. Did you guys really enjoy Sunday? If you enjoy Sunday, give me some thumbs up or something like that. If you really enjoy Sunday service, man, give me some thumbs up. Say, man, I really enjoyed Sunday. If you did, just give me some thumbs up, and let's jump right into this teaching on tonight. If you would say Sunday was, yes, it was good, man. Bristol, what's happening? It was real good, man. God visited us, and like He always does, DA is a place where the presence of God resides. And so, and people, let me tell you something, theaters, partners, you guys should be so appreciative that we live in we're in a place where God resides. What's up, Cree? And Jonica, how you doing? Desiree, what's up, cuz? What's up, Andre, man? Good to see you, Andre Webb. We hope you all enjoyed Houston, man, all the way from the Chi. What's up, Violetta? And so we hope you guys enjoyed it. And so it was an incredible experience for us, and God continues to add to the church. And so this Sunday, somebody said this Sunday, we officially go to our second service. That's right, 8:08 a.m. Look, we don't have any room. You guys see that. So it's not, statistics say, the Barna report statistics says, if you are 75% full in one service, you should extend to a second service. That's what they say. I don't like to do that. But those of us who've been with us from some length of time, we used to have two services way back in the day before smaller churches was doing it. We was doing two services. Both were full. And man, I just didn't want to do it. Let me just be honest. And so, but with the partners that we have and how well you guys serve and how faithful and dedicated you guys are, I know we're going to do this, and we're going to do it in such a great way. And I know we're going to do it in such a great way that God is going to be glorified out of what we do. And so I'm excited, man. This Sunday we jump off. Dr. Mimi is opening up the first. She'll be preaching at the 8:08 a.m. service. And of course, I'll be coming back at the 10:08 service. And so that first service is going to be a 90-minute service. We're going to be in and out, so we can have enough time to make a transition through to the second service. Now, it's supposed to be 90 minutes with Dr. Mimi preaching. Now, with Dr. Mimi preaching, it may be 91 minutes. Okay, it's supposed to be 91 minutes, and because Dr. Mimi, she get the prophesy and laying hand. Then everybody is laid out, and then we have a service full of sanctified carnage all over the place. And so so we're supposed to have a second service if everybody's off the floor by then. Okay, so that's the plan. That is the plan. Okay. And so, but you have, prophetess, she come in like a whirlwind, and man, and God just do some great things through her. So listen, 91 people on 63 likes. Let's get these likes up. And so listen, remember, Thursday is coming. Thursday is coming. What's up, Drake? Thursday is coming. Now, on last week, as we were talking, and you guys we were talking about this 2000. For those of you who are planning on doing 2000, now I want to bring some clarity. I want to bring some clarity into this. Do you hear that in my office, baby? You hear that? It's a teddy bear. Hold on, y'all. It's a birthday teddy bear. Whoever birthday is, we're singing you happy birthday. It came on by itself.
It was saying happy Thursday.
It was saying happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to you. That's what it was saying. It was a happy Thursday. So listen. So for those, I want to bring some clarity to it because we're going to do. So somebody write that in the lower thirds. Somebody write that in the lower thirds. We're going to do it. Write that in the lower thirds. I want to see your faith. I want your faith to match our faith. We're going to do it. Write that in. On Thursday, we're going to do it. I want to bring some clarity to that. All right. Now, for those of you who would like to start, already doing your Thursday giving, thank you all for that. You give it, but designate it in the, when you give it, like this go towards Thursday. That needs to be identified and it needs to be expressed. So that way it does not go into the general funds. We have an account that's set up especially just for Thursday. You send it to the general account, we transfer it to the savings, the Thursday savings. So if you're going to start giving now and you don't have the discipline or you can't hold on until August 4th, which is Thursday, because I like the act of faith where we all give it at one time. But if you don't have that faith, that's cool. But if you've already given your $1,000, you can still give again, because we want to make sure that we want to be the Ephesians 3:20 believers, because God is the Ephesians 3:20 God. He do above and beyond all that we can ask or think. And so we should have that same spirit. And we got to do what they did last week. We taught in Exodus 36, where Moses said, hey, listen, thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Leticia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all so much, Tasha. Thank you, Desiree. Yeah, so we got to have that same spirit of 36 and 5 in Exodus 36, where Moses says, where the leaders had to go through and tell everybody, hey, listen, we have enough. Stop giving. We are at our max. We got more than enough. And so we want to get to that point where we're more than enough. So listen, so here's some clarity. So if you just say, for instance, if you say, hey, listen, I'm going to give $2,000, me and my family. Well, that is, I want to challenge you to go above that, because $2,000 for you and your spouse is what you're supposed to give regularly anyway. Whenever we say $1,000 per person, we're not talking about $1,000 per household. So like, for instance, I give 1,000 and Dr. Mimi give 1,000. That's what we did. That's what we normally do. So that's $2,000. So if as a household you said we're going to give $2,000, that's what you're supposed to give normally anyway, if you are a couple. Now remember, Dom was the one opened up saying last week, I'm going to give 2,000, because even as a single, we expect for each person to give 1,000. And if you're going to give 2,000 this year, we want each person to give 2,000. So with that being said, now everybody may not be able to do that, but we want to talk to you about getting yourself to that point. But if you can't do 2,000, if you can do 2,000, see if you can stretch it to 25 or 3. At least each person is doing 15 as opposed to just 1, because each person should be doing 1 automatically, especially if you're a leader. Now, listen, so Dr. Me and myself, and we didn't even know, we were talking this today. She and I got out there, we walked 7 miles together, and we were just talking, and come to find out, she's already, thank you, Jeffrey, for the seed. We've already, she has a stash of cash that she's been saving just for Thursday. And then in my drawer, I have a stash of cash that I've been saving for Thursday. And so it's our plan to give way more than $1,000, $2,000. So it's our plan to give, whatever is necessary to give it. Eureka's already pledged $5,000. And so we want you guys to know, this is not for us. This is for our facility, our church. This is for us to expand, and man, for us to do the work of the kingdom, because y'all see that we have the need. So I just want to bring that clarity, but we're going to do this on Thursday. All right. Everybody's going to do it. Everybody at least going to give $500. You say, I can't do 1,000, but I'm going to do 500. But everybody should be able to give. If you're a leader, you should already be establishing, setting up, man, I'm going to give $2,000 as an individual. And if I can't, we're going to do 3, but our family is going to be represented. All right. Listen, let me jump into this teacher, man. Listen, like this video, share it. Let's jump into it tonight. I want to talk I want us to look at this scripture just for consideration, and it is Obadiah. Yes, Obadiah. And Obadiah is an Old Testament prophet. This is one chapter of it only has one chapter of the Bible in the Bible, and it's Obadiah 1. And so Obadiah is one of what is called the minor prophets. Remember, for those of you who are preachers, always remember this. Yes, if you have been on the economic shutdown, you should already be in a position to sow as much as you can if you have been participating. But when we see, most people probably have not. And so, and that's probably why you won't be, but you should have been prepared. And if not, you still have until August to pull back and start putting some aside to it. All right. So Obadiah, for preachers, ministers, for those who want a little more knowledge, Obadiah is one of what he's an Old Testament prophet. He's called one of the minor prophets. You have 4 major prophets and you have 12 minor prophets. Remember that, ministers, those who come to the minister class, you may hear that question again, especially on your exam when it's time for you to be ordained or licensed. So Obadiah is considered one of he's a minor prophet, and there's 12 minor prophets. There are 4 major prophets. Major and minor, not because of importance, but minor because of the extent or the length of their writing. So you have the 4 major prophets. Somebody write this in the comments because you may hear this again. The 4 major prophets are Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Daniel. Those are the 4 major prophets: Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Daniel. Those are the 4 major prophets. Now, although we have 4 major prophets, we have 5 major prophetic books. That book would include Lamentations, because Jeremiah is the author of Lamentation. So he wrote the book of Jeremiah and also the book of Lamentation. So that's why it's 4 major prophets and it's 5 major prophetic books. The 12 minor prophets include Obadiah. You have Obadiah, you have Jonah, you have Micah, you have Amos, you have Haggai, you have Habakkuk, you have all those guys. And so they, like I said, they're minor, not because they are not important, but their writing is not as long or extensive as the 4 major prophets. So that's why. So Obadiah is a very interesting book. It's 1 chapter, but it's filled with meat. And so this is God. This is God talking to the Edomites. The Edomites are descendants of Esau. Esau was the brother of Jacob. And because Esau and Jacob was at odds, they're still at odds to this day. God cursed Esau and the Edomites because of how they treated the Israelites. It was a time when they were coming out of Egypt and they wanted to pass through the land of the Edomites. The Edomites would not give them passage through the land. And they mistreated the people of God. And because they mistreated the people of God, there was a curse placed on the Edomites until this day by God because of how they mistreated the people who God had his hands on. I just preached a whole message. That right there is something that all of us should live by. You can listen to it. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It is, you are naive that if you think you can mistreat people who God has his hands on and your future remains intact. It will not. You better be careful. You better be careful, and not only careful, but you better watch the people who are in your life who oftentimes gaslight you or egg you on or to encourage you to talk about people who God has his hands on, to try to be vindictive toward people who God has his hands on, and try to sabotage people who God has his hands on. If that person is doing that, I can assure you I can assure you that their life is a life of struggle, misery, and unhappiness, because God does not grant happiness and joy and success and prosperity to people who cannot keep their mouths off of people who God has his hands on. Yeah, I can really say, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we absent from one another. Because I just preached a message. Because what the church does not understand and what people in church don't understand is that even though you think that you're doing something that nobody else can detect physically, God is always watching you, and God is monitoring your conversations, and he's monitoring even when you're behind closed doors. And it is a shame that you can despise somebody and still smile in their face as though you don't despise them. You are wicked, you are evil, and God can't be in you if you're a person that has that kind of behavior. And this is what the Edomites were. The Edomites were people who hated the people of God, and they will not let them pass through. They will always come against them. And God said, curse. And the Bible says God loves Jacob, but he hates Esau. And so, and the word hate is not like we hate, but it is to love less. And so, in other words, if God would happen to have to make a decision on who he would bless between Esau and Jacob, he loved them both, but he would always choose Jacob because of how Esau treated Jacob. And you have to always remember this. That's why you cannot be upset with people who God is blessing when you don't like them, because God will always choose the person who has no guile in their heart over the person who despises someone that God has his hands on. I'm trying to help you. This is the key to the success of life. This is how you doing, Pastor Lovey? How you doing, woman of God? So this is the key to life. The key to life is you better monitor how you treat people who God has his hands on. And it's not up to you to decide whether or not God has his hands on them. If God has his hand on them, you better watch how you treat people. Thank you, baby, because she preaching with me. Because the Bible says in Genesis 29 and verse 31, read it in your own leisure if you don't believe me. In Genesis 29 and 31, Dr. Mimi just posted, the Bible says, when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened up her womb, watch this, but he shut the womb of the one who hated her. Did you get that? Did you get that? He opened the womb of Leah because of how Rachel hated her and because of how she was hated. And the person who hated her, God closed up her womb, because you cannot let me leave that alone, because y'all don't like that kind of teaching. And so, but it's a great segue into what we're going to teach tonight. So read the book of Obadiah in its entirety. It's really good. So tonight, I want to do a teaching off of this. This is Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, you have been deceived by your own pride. That is the operative word tonight, the word pride. You have been deceived by your own pride. Notice that pride is an ownership. Notice that the devil, this is not the devil's pride, it's your pride. He said, you have been deceived by your own pride. Listen, people, we got 75 likes. That's what I can see. I need you right now. I need you right now to get these likes up. If you're on here and we have 7, we need 100 likes and 100 shares. All right. Y'all forgive me, Dr. Mimi, I've been working out, just come from the gym. All right. So he says, you have been deceived by your own pride because you live in a rock fortress and make your home and hide in the high mountains. We're talking about mountains. He said, who can ever reach us up here? You ask boastfully. So in other words, he's saying, when you get a little something, he said, this is what this is what the Edomites were doing. They got a little blessing. They got the little income tax check back. I'm sorry. They got the little tax return back. and they got the little refund. So they was able to buy some hair, and they was able to get their nails done. They was able to get a little car and got their paper tag on it. And so now they got them a new apartment. They got, and so now they're able to take a vacation. So now they don't just change. And you know how it is, how you don't help somebody and you don't help somebody get on, and now that they've gotten on, they act like they got there by themselves, and now that you've helped them, they want to take the credit for being where they are, and knowing that they wouldn't have been there if somebody didn't help them. But then once they get successful, they want to act like they got there by themselves. This is what the Edomites were. They had got to the point where they had got too big in their head. I told you where my medical people are. They start suffering from what I call spiritual encephalitis. Spiritual encephalitis is when I say spiritual encephalitis. Encephalitis is a medical condition that causes swelling of the brain, and when the person has their pride, their head swells. And we have so many people in the body of Christ who has what I call spiritual encephalitis. Your head has just swollen. You can't even get through a door because your head done got so big. And just because you have got, this is the interesting thing. This is the interesting thing about people, and that I've never been able to understand. It seems to me that the people who have the right to be arrogant are not. But then the people who don't have no reason to be arrogant are. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So once again, you have been deceived by your own pride because you live in a rock fortress and make your home in the mountains. We're talking about mountains. He says, who can ever reach us up here? He said that boastfully. So tonight I want to talk about this. The subject I'm talking about tonight is high on your own supply. Did somebody get that right there? Did somebody just get that high off your own supply? That's what I want to talk about tonight. High off your own supply. And this is where we have so many people are high on your own supply. Now, we know that this is if you will watch those of us in our BC days, perhaps you listen to Biggie. I listen to Biggie, and Biggie has the 10 Commandments, and one of his songs, and he's talking about the drug game and crack. And how you sell drugs. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just using it as an analogy, as an example. Now, Biggie did not originate this saying. It really came off this great movie, Scarface, played by Al Pacino, and played by Al Pacino. And Scarface, and Scarface has started. He was making so much money. This is what I'm saying. He was making so much money. He got beside himself. Nobody could tell him nothing. What's up, Pastor McKinney? Nobody could tell him nothing. He had got beside himself. The people who was over him were trying to give him some good wisdom on how to run his business, his empire. He had got so big that he had started living reckless. He started letting the wrong people close to him. He started making bad deals, and all of a sudden, his whole empire imploded from the inside. And then the famous line, he comes out, after he has snorted all of his cocaine and he's shooting up everything. Say hello to my little friend. You remember, he's high because he's high off his own supply. And somebody who's in the movie with him, played by the woman, she said, you're getting high on your own supply. That's why you're acting the way you're acting. You have changed. Y'all ain't helping me. You're not the same person that you were when you didn't have. You're not the same person you was when you're not the same person you was when God was letting you make it from month to month. You're not the same person you was before somebody knew your name. You're not the same person you were before you started getting a little few clients. You're not the same person you were when you were broke. But now that you're starting to see a little something that you've never seen before, it changes you. You're not the same person you were before you received the call. You're not the same person you were before somebody started telling you you did a good job. You're not the same person you were before somebody gave you a microphone. You're not the same person you were before you started doing your little Facebook Live. You're not the same person you were before you got your little Facebook business page. But now that somebody done gave you a few likes, you done changed. You're different. You're different. Our son Clyde. Clyde. This is. I came to Dr. Mimi this morning as I was trying to come up with the name of a subject for this. And you said, "Get off your high horse." That was my That was my alternative topic. My alternative topic was, "You look good on your high horse." That was my alternative topic. But I just thought right here, talking about the Edomites, getting high on your own supply was a better topic. But I was thinking the same way. All right. So if I want you to write this in the comments, because I just hear that I'm trying to say it the way the Lord gave it to me. Your chance shouldn't change you. Just write that in the comments. Your chance shouldn't change you. In other words, when you get your opportunity, when someone gives you a chance, your chance shouldn't change you. If God, there you go, Mike B. If God gives you a chance, it should not change you. If your pastors give you a chance, it should not change you. If somebody who would have never patronized your business give you a chance, it should not change you. And some of you all have been changed by your chance. Lord, now that's good. And that right there is like fresh bread out the oven, because the Lord just gave me that. You should not let your chance change you. And this is the reason why God is withholding great opportunities, Pastor Kim, for some of us, is because he knows if you get a chance, it's going to change you. Listen here. I'm the same person per se. When I say same person, of course, I made some modifications, but I don't treat people different regardless of how blessed God do to myself and my wife. We're always the same. You know what's shocking? You know what's shocking? And this is not me attempting to bloviate, okay? But you know God has blessed us so much, and He has given us somewhat recognition. So basically, everywhere we go, I don't care where we are in the country, we see people. I was traveling and to North Carolina last week, and I had to change planes in Charlotte. And as we're changing planes in Charlotte, I run into a bishop that I know, and Cyrus said, "Man, everywhere y'all go, somebody know you." So somebody and people, when they see us who have been following us online, and when they see us in person and they speak, and Dr. Mimi and I go and hug them, they're like, "Oh my God, y'all are so down to earth." And we always say, "Where do you think we live? We live on earth." So if we live on earth, where else are we gonna be? That's just so funny. But the point I'm making is that regardless, if your chance change you, God will minimize your chances. Somebody write that in the comments. If your chance change you, God will minimize your chances. Let me say that again. If your chance change you, God is going to minimize your chances. This is the reason why some people get one door and it never opens again. This is the reason why some of you, your business has never made it to that level of even 5 figures a year, because you got a chance and it changed you. And when your chance change you, God minimizes your chances. Okay. All right. Hey, people, we got 98 of you on 89. We need 11 people on here. If you're on here, listen to me. 11 people like it now. Let's get up to 100 likes. Y'all should have 100 shares. If your chance change you, God is going to minimize your chances. Okay? So all I'm trying to tell you in the embryonic stages of this presentation, and that is to tell you, don't get high on your own supply. Because remember, I read the text to you. What did the text say? The text says, you have been deceived by what? Your own pride. You have a supply of pride, and most people in the church don't realize they are high on their own supply. Now I hear some of y'all saying, but I'm not high, because we have that fake humility, and that's just as much pride as everything else. Can I tell y'all this? Can I share this with you guys? And I've shared this with some of you all before. If God uses you to help or bless somebody in ministry, if you sing a good song, if you preach a good message, if you help somebody, or if you do well, and somebody say, man, you did an awesome job. Man, come on, man. I'll be like, it's all him. You know how we do it. It's all him. You know how we do that fake stuff, like fake. Just as fake. Just as fake as a $3 bill. You already look. And you just, oh God. Come on, really. Listen, it's okay. The Bible said the Bible said don't praise yourself. It's okay if it said let another man praise you. And so if somebody said you did a good job, you know the right response is thank you. If you say thank you, you're not taking God's glory. Because can I help y'all? You don't have the capacity to take his glory. So God ain't concerned about you taking his glory. Just accept the compliment. It's all God. It's all God. No, you did it. Paul said, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things. He didn't say, no, I can. God didn't sing the song, you did, knucklehead. God didn't preach it, you did. Now he gave you the strength, but still you did it. God didn't do the praise dance, you did it. God didn't teach the kids in the kids class, you did it. God didn't give the person the money, you gave it to him. So if somebody say thank you, all you have to do is just say thank you. Not, it's all God. I'm just, it ain't me, it's him. It is you. Okay, I'm leaving that alone. I'm leaving. She said knucklehead is wild. So watch this. He said you have been deceived by your own pride. So watch this. So if you've been deceived by your own pride, that means that it's your supply. He said to the Edomites, you're getting high off your own stuff. The old folk would say it like this, oh boy, he's smelling himself now. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that statement before about an elder? Somebody put that in the comment and said, oh, he's smelling himself. That's what they would say. Like with that time that you old enough now and your mama say something back to you, like, hold up. She's like, oh boy, you smelling yourself, aren't you? That means when you start smelling yourself, what they simply saying is that now your little pride done kicked in. You think you've grown now. And so now because of how you feel about yourself, you changing toward me. You smelling yourself now. Oh yeah. Oh, you smell. Oh, he's smelling himself. That's what they would tell us, because they saying now look at here. You are getting to the point where you can have your own press. And that's what they say. You believe in your own press now. And because you believe in your own press, it's changing you. It is changing you. Oh, he's smelling himself. That's what they were saying. We need 4 more people to like this video. Come on, people. We need, and that's what they were saying. Oh, he's smelling himself now, right? Because what they were literally saying was, oh, you got to the point now where you think you got it all together. You don't need to. You just do what you. No. Oh no. 3 more people. Let's go. So I want to share some things with you. Are you getting big too big for your britches? You said, but I'm not a prideful person. Let me read something. I didn't put it in here to write that. I just want to read them out. If you assume you already know everything when somebody's talking to you, yeah. Have you ever tried to share something with somebody and you said they say, yeah, I know that. The Lord shared that with me too. They just be lying. Have you ever? I don't like. Have you ever did a post? God gave you a post, or somebody do a post, and somebody have to. They just gotta jump under somebody's post and say, I was just thinking about the Lord. You lying. The Lord just told me the same thing. Man, just look. Just admit that there was a good idea from them. Just accept. Somebody trying to tell you something, and every time they try to tell you something, you think you already know it all. Yeah, and some of y'all like, that ain't me, and that's how you know you suffer from spiritual pride. You assume you already know something, and you know you don't. Because here it is. Because if application is not applied, if application is not in process, then you don't know nothing. Oh, I already know this. Well, why you still broke then? I already know this. Well, why everything falling apart in your life? If you know that, if the Lord been told you that, why don't we see the fruit yet in your life? Because you lying, pride. Because you just lying because you want somebody to think that God talk. No, if God was talking to you, you would have already made the adjustments. Just sit down and take something from somebody that you don't. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. All right, here it is. And number 2, you say, well, that ain't me. What? If you see yourself as too good to do certain things, like if you come to somebody, if you know you come to somebody, especially in church, y'all do it all the time. In church, people do it all the time. You come to somebody, you want to offer, hey, listen, I need you in this auxiliary. I need you to do this, and you say, well, I'm not good at that. You just listen. What you're literally saying is that, no, I really want to be on stage. And if I'm going to serve, I got to be seen. But you don't want to be nowhere where nobody can't see you. You think it's because it's spiritual pride. Because if somebody even asks you to do something in or ministry or help, you should be honored that somebody will even ask you to do something. Y'all don't like how I'm talking? Yeah, and then here's another form of pride that being too proud to ask for help. Some of y'all right now, you need help. You don't know how to handle your money. What your marriage is falling apart. Some of y'all right now, you want to be married, but you don't want to sit down and talk to somebody who give you some advice. Some of y'all right now, your marriage could be better right now, but you got too much pride to sit down and talk with somebody. Some of y'all right now, you got people who you're at odds at, and the person that did nothing to you, but you're too prideful to sit down and ask somebody to help you navigate that relationship. How can I salvage this instead of being the immature person who's just in your feelings? Let me leave. Y'all don't want this kind of stuff. Tell somebody to stop getting high off your own supply. And then another form of pride is that if you think you're better than somebody else. I just talked about that's what the Edomites were. Think they better than somebody, and you ain't got nothing. I'm trying to figure out how you prideful and arrogant, and you ain't got nothing. It amazes me. It's the people who don't have nothing who sit back and try to talk about people who do have something. This is the reason why you should never give more time to a critic than you do to the people who love you. You let them criticize you all they want. You give your effort to the people who love you the most, not critics. And then when you let me get into the teaching. Let me get into the teaching. I'm just trying to show y'all. Some of us are prideful and we don't think we are. But those of you who are critical of everything, that's pride. Do you know the people as soon as they as soon as they become a part of something, they always see the wrong in it. And you know you're prideful because you would rather disassociate yourself as opposed to becoming a solution to make it better. But instead, you would rather criticize it. You would rather sit there and criticize something that you're supposed to be a part of. And the whole thing is that if you were so awesome, could it be that God put your little awesome self in that auxiliary or on that team or in that company to make it better, not to be messy with the people to make it worse? But you're so critical. What you don't like, how this should go, and then not realizing that you are just, it's pride. That instead of you looking at what this benefit, how this benefits me, you immediately trying to find out what's wrong with it. That's pride, people. And you don't think it's prideful, but it is pride. It's so prideful. It is that you can sit back and try to literally dissect something that you're not even a part of because you're prideful and you're so critical of everybody and everything instead of offering a solution, what you don't like. It's some people that go around looking for mess, looking for stuff out of order so they can go back and tell somebody else what's wrong. What's wrong with this church? This is what's wrong with that church. I don't like this church because of that. I don't like. Man, hush with your little awesome self. You think you so awesome. Look how these numbers drop. Look at them prideful people getting off of here. You see how them prideful people getting off of here? I told y'all. It's a demon. It's a demon. And another form of pride is some of y'all is that you constantly need attention and affirmation. For those of you who think, see, some of you think you need counseling. You don't want counseling, you want attention. And that's what, because watch this, because if I have to tell you the same thing over and over again, and instead of you applying the teaching and getting better, you want to still request an audience with me for me to reiterate what I just told you in the previous time we met. But now you still want to hear me say the same thing over and over again. You never wanted advice, you wanted attention. Because if you mature, when you get the lessons and the wisdom, you apply the wisdom so you don't continue to have to gain an audience with somebody. Y'all don't like how I'm talking tonight. Boy, oh boy, I mean, them numbers, I mean, man, them numbers drop. Them numbers drop like the like the stock market. You saw how you saw the Pastor Mark. You saw how the numbers drop. But have you ever talked to somebody, Dre, and they came to you to talk, and then you give them exactly what they need to do, and they take that, and then 2 weeks later you have to talk about the same thing, or somebody, or they talk to you. And then when you tell them something, they have to have a second opinion, like they're going to see a medical doctor, right? After you don't talk to me, you now want to go and talk to somebody else. And people, let me tell y'all this: pastors, ministers, leaders, partners. So that's everybody. Listen to me: pastors, ministers, leaders, prophets, deacons, elders, parking lot attendants, ushers, greeters, youth workers, social media team, sound tech, choir members, praise team, band, building and ground, every person listen to me. If someone at Demonstrate Church comes to you or call you and say, hey, I need some advice. Can I talk to you? You say, sure. They tell you what they have a concern about. Your follow-up question should be, have you talked to Dr. Mimi? Have you talked to Apostle? And if they say yes, you know what your response should be? If you've talked to them, there is nothing further I could add. I promise you that'll keep down a lot of mess. Because see, sometimes what y'all don't know is the people who come running to you all, that's because they didn't like what we said. And so what that does is that people will begin to play you against us. And then they'll start coming to you because they favor you, because they know that perhaps you will not be as direct as myself or Dr. Mimi. So they'll come to you because you are somewhat passive aggressive, or you are not a confrontational person. And so they would rather come to you because they feel like you would be more, quote unquote, compassionate about them, and not realizing that we've already talked to them, most of them, several times. So if they come to you, your question should be is, hey, have you talked to Apostle? Have you talked to Apostle? Have you talked to Dr. Mimi? Yeah, but okay, ain't no but to that. If you talk to them, what else can I say? What else can I say? Because I'm not going to say anything different from them, because what they want you to do is to disagree with us. And if they disagree with us, well, you know what it's going to do? It's going to create pride in you. Because now you're going to think, I got answers that my leaders don't have. And it's going to create pride in you. And then you'll find yourself meeting with people privately that we don't even know about. You'll find yourself on the phone with people privately that we don't know about. And you'll find yourself on the phone trying to give people prophetic words apart from the church. And let me tell y'all, here's another story since we here. Nobody, listen to me, nobody should be calling you on the phone with a prophetic word. If they do, the Lord gave me a word for you. Okay, if they do, can you run that by Pastor Dapp? Can you run that by Pastor Marcus? Can you run it by Apostle Brown? Can you run that by Pastor Kim? Can you run that by Dr. Mimi? Can you run that Pastor Brent? Run it by somebody who can judge what they say. Because all these little private things, I'm telling you, it's pride. It's pride. It's pride because you think that you got something that who they serve don't have, and it'll create pride in you. I'm trying to tell you, this is how Absalom destroyed David's kingdom. Is that there you go, son, it has to be judged. The prophetic word must be judged. This is how Absalom destroyed David's kingdom. Whenever you read 2 Samuel 13, the Bible says that Absalom, these are the exact words, when Absalom was standing at the door, and when people came to talk to David, Absalom would say this, hey, listen, you can talk to me. And the Bible said these words, and the Bible said, and Absalom stole the hearts of the people. I want to talk to you all tonight who will listen to me with a stolen heart. You have allowed somebody, I don't know why I'm on this tonight, you have allowed somebody in D8 that you think we trusted, and they done stole your heart, and now you can't even have an ear toward us. They've stolen your heart, and now we no longer have your ear. I'm talking good. You have let somebody steal your heart, and now that they've stolen your heart, we no longer have your ear. Okay, let me leave it alone. Yeah, Matt, we know you're going to talk to Dr. Mimi every time. You, Dr. Matt, one thing, Matt ain't going to, if you say something, Matt coming directly to Dr. Mimi. Watch this. And some of y'all gonna let somebody steal your heart, and now that they stole your heart, we don't even have your ear. I didn't get into this, man. I don't even know watch this. And so and most people just need attention. And most people just need attention. Hey, people, look, I don't even want to go any further because I have so much to give you. I can finish this next week if time permits. But I just came tonight to tell you, don't get high off your own supply. Don't get high off your own supply because you think you don't have pride. But another example of pride is being unable to receive constructive criticism. Watch this. If you give somebody constructive criticism and they stop liking you, that's pride. It's pride. And if you give somebody constructive criticism and then they turn on you, it's pride. If you give them constructive criticism and they start treating you funny, that's pride. You acting different because I challenge you. That is pride. Because if you can't handle being built up, you're going to live a life where you're torn down. And so, and most people don't realize when you're in a community of believers, one of the things you got to be able to do is to receive constructive criticism without being offended when you get it. Ooh. And constructive criticism is just wisdom. It's just wisdom. It's advice. Watch this. And then and what it is that it's making you better. That's why it's called constructive. Because when you get ready to build, that's why it's called a construction business. Construction business build things. Constructive criticism builds you up. That's why it's not called destructive criticism. It's called constructive criticism. It builds you up. And most people they hate to be built. They would rather remain on the same level their entire life because they hate constructive criticism. Hey, listen, I think it's a good thing that you focus on losing weight. It'll cut down on how you feel. It'll cut down on the migraines you have. You won't have all those back problems. Watch this. And then you'll feel better about yourself. I can't believe you said that to me. I can't believe you. Baby, you ask your spouse, baby, how I look? Hey, I think you should lose weight because, I'm not attracted to it. Oh my God, you don't love me like that. I think you're supposed to love me like I am. Why you don't? No, it's constructive. Hey, listen, I recommend, hey, that I'm saying, that you pull back, a little on your spending, because if not, man, you're gonna struggle financially. How you gonna tell me what to do? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Hey, listen, hey, I heard you talking to your husband. I heard you, hey man, hey, you shouldn't talk to your husband like that. Well, you don't know how he talked to me. Hey, bro, I saw what you did to your wife, man. I saw you handle your wife. Man, that ain't wise to handle your wife like that. Instead of saying, bro, that's my wife. You don't tell me. Thank you, man. I'll make constructive. Like I was talking Sunday about ministry and about life. I said, hey, man, get married, do all this kind of stuff. Hey, dude, some people can't handle that kind of stuff because they listen to that and they think it's destructive when it's actually constructive. And if you can't handle constructive criticism, then you'll never be built up. And that's pride. And you high off your own supply. You don't even realize. You even realize. And here's another sign of pride. And man, if this not in the Black community, I don't know, the unwillingness to submit to authority. Hey, man, if you're submitted, you're submitted. And watch it. And most people in church are not submitted. They're not submitted at all. Submitted means it's the root word is sub, where we get the word submarine, where we get the word submerge. Now, and you smart enough to know what submarine and submerge means, or subliminal, right? You know, or sublease. All those things, if you sublease a place, that means you come up under the person who's already leased it. So a submarine does not navigate on top of the water. It goes under the water. A subliminal message is a message that's hidden under a message. Submerge means to take something under. You can't submerge something that remains on top of the water, on top of the surface. It has to be under for it to be subjected. Subject. You have to, it's going under. And most people in church, especially people who have melanin in their skin, we struggle with submission. And you think it's because the Lord has just worked with me. No, you're prideful. I talked to my brother, and he don't mind me saying this, and I won't call a name, but I talked to my brother and one of my spiritual sons, and he called me or texted me, called me, and told me what he told me he wasn't coming to church because of this. I said, man, I really wish, thank you, Yo-Yo. I said, I really wish you respected me as your pastor. I said, because if you did, there's no way you would call me and tell me what you're not going to do for ministry. Because pride would tell you, I'm going to let you know what no. If I'm submitted to you, I'm not going to tell you what I'm not going to do. I'll come to you for wisdom on how to do what I'm trying to do. But most people who come to their leadership, they don't come under the guise of respect. They come and they tell you what they're going to do. They just want the pastor or the leader to agree with it. Michaela, I wish they would get that. If you submit, thank you, Tasha. If you submit to your leaders, that's the quickest way to get your life on the. That's the quickest way. I mean, it's a cheat code. I'm trying. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code. Watch it. It's a cheat code. If you submit to it's a cheat code. Your life is advanced quickly. Because remember this, because if you have a pastor and you submit to him and you get their advice, you get advanced. Remember, I will tell you this, God would never, write this in the comments, God would never advance who he can advise. And God don't advise you out of heaven, he advises you through his representatives. And if God can't advise you, he would never advance you. And this is why most people are stuck in the mud. You are on the treadmill of business. You're on the treadmill of life. You're on the treadmill of a relationship because you're just running in circles, but you're not making any progress. You are, watch this, extending energy, but you're not moving. So that's why you burn out. Because you are not advancing. I don't care how many miles you run on the treadmill. At the end of those mileage, you're in the same place. But you've used energy that could have got, y'all ain't talking to me up in here. So all I'm trying to tell you is this. Okay, listen, all right. I just heard this. Look, and I thought this was a phenomenal sales pitch. So Sarah and I are on our way back from Charlotte, North Carolina to Houston on Saturday. And once we land, the stewardess gets on the microphone. I thought it was a brilliant sales pitch, and I say I'm gonna use that one day. And so here it is. You're gonna get it now. She says, if you go, she said, if you drive 1 mile down the street, you've just driven 1 mile. She said, but if you fly with American, if we drive 1 mile down the runway, we can take you anywhere in the world. Did y'all hear that? I thought that was phenomenal. What she was saying was, you can use your own stuff and only get 1 mile by driving 1 mile. But if you submit to this airline and let me drive you 1 mile off the runway, I can take you all over the world. Your leader is like American Airlines. If you submit to that, it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code. So listen. So when you are part of a church, when you're part of a ministry, and you don't show up because of circumstances, you're not submitted. You're not submitted. Your name is on the roll, but you're not submitted. And if you don't come to church, I talked to another brother. If you don't come to church because your wife don't come, you're not submitted. If you don't come to church because your husband don't come, you're not submitted. I'll only go if my husband comes, or if my husband is not here, I won't be. I only show up when my husband is here. You're not submitted, and that's why you're on the treadmill of life. You're using energy, but you ain't going nowhere because your pride has you so submerged in your own world, and you have your own supply. And you didn't realize you got to learn how to submit to authority. You have to learn how to admit. And here's the last thing. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna leave that alone because I can get stuck. I'll talk about it again next week. Here's the last form of pride, and this is one of the most major ones, and that is when you justify your wrongs. Somebody put that in the comments. When you justify your wrong actions, you know you was wrong. You know it's wrong for you to sit around and gossip about your pastors, gossip about your church, gossip about your boss, gossip about your supervisor. You know it's wrong. And you only gather with people who co-sign your wrong. When you justify your wrong, listen, well, you mistreat somebody because you say, well, you don't know how they treated me. You're wrong. You justifying your wrong. I don't care what they've done to you. If you don't treat them the way the Bible said treat them, you are wrong. And for you to try to sit there and justify it, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Well, my husband, well, I ain't no, my husband don't do this, and so because he don't do this, you're wrong. Because you're supposed to be a wife when he's not a husband. You're supposed to be a husband when she's not a wife. Well, man, my wife is. I don't care what your wife don't do. You don't do it because your wife is doing it. You do it because it's right to do it. And Dr. Mimi said all the time, it's never a wrong time to do the right thing. And most of you only do right when right is done by you. And you justify your wrong behavior because it's pride. It's pride. Okay, yeah. Now y'all know I tell on myself. I don't mind telling on myself. So here it is. So here it is. So Dr. Mimi, I made it funny, right? I made it funny about Dr. Mimi watching this show, and it's a show. What is it called, baby? The Snitch Cartel, but the whole show is in Spanish. All right, and she is really into this show. I mean, like, no, this girl, she wakes up at 5 in the morning. This girl gonna be over there speaking in tongues. She'll be reading her Bible. 5 in the morning, it's still dark outside. She gonna be speaking in tongues, reading the Bible, praying, and taking notes and everything. She get up, get the kids ready for school. She get Santa ready, get Sarah ready, feed the kids, take care of me. First thing she gonna do, that girl got the remote. She going to Netflix, and she gonna turn on this show, and she sits there and she laughs, and she holds her mouth like, cause she's shocked. I mean, she is really into this show. And she's so excited that she was trying to tell me, we're lying in bed while she said, okay, let me tell you about the show. She said, oh baby, the show's really good. And here I am, I'm being disrespectful, not intentionally, but it's disrespectful to my wife. So she's trying to tell me why she loved the show. And I said, oh baby, the show is so good. I said, I bet it is. I'm being sarcastic. Oh baby, the show is really good. I said, yeah, I bet it is. And she was like, and then from there, she had a real conversation with me. And she was like, I just want, if it's something I like, I want you to like it. I watch what you like it. And then here I am. I don't tell you to watch what I like. You. So here I'm going back and forth. And so, so she's not mad, but she gets up and say, I'm gonna go in the front and watch my show. So she goes in the front and she starts watching her show, Snitch Cartel, in the front. Here I am, because I can't sit there if I've made her feel like I'm not into her, or made her feel like I wasn't interested in her world, and this is my girl. No, my girl can't feel like I'm not into her. My girl can't feel like that. I'm sorry, baby. My girl can't feel like I'm not interested in her. My girl can't feel like I'm selfish. No, not my girl. Now, I don't know what you do with your girl. I can't make my wife feel like I'm not into her life. That's not how it goes. So while she's in there watching her show, I'm in the room and the Holy Spirit says, you're wrong. Go apologize now. Now, and I didn't. This ain't no whole day now. This is immediately. The Holy Spirit said, you're wrong. Go apologize. Leave me alone, Michaela. I don't tell our business all the time. I'm sorry. And so I said, but baby, I'm not telling our business. And so I said to her, so you know what I did, right? When Sarah and I traveled, we had some cookies, and she like macadamia cookies, right? She liked macadamia cookies, and it was one cookie left. Right? I don't eat macadamia. I think it's disgusting, but she loved them. And she had one little macadamia cookie left in the bag. And so I get the cookie while she's on the couch covered up because she's always cold. She's under the blanket watching TV in her little show. And I came in and I got under the covers with her. I said, I'm gonna watch it with you. And she you know how when your girl really wants you there, but she act like she don't. That's how she was acting like, no, you gotta watch with me. No, you go back in the room. No, girl, please, you know you want me here. She's saying the whole time, you got to, but she lifting up the blanket for me to get under, and she's sliding over so I can get on the couch with her. But she don't want me in here. No, you go back in there. But you go back in there. And so she opened up the blanket, she let the blanket up, and she's sliding over to make room for me on the couch. But no, I don't. You don't have to come in here and watch it with me. That's what she said. And so I said, here, I brought her the cookies, told you, and I said, I'm sorry. I said, you know what? If you love it, I want to watch it too. And I laid down and I got a little dizzy, trying to read all of the caption that fast. because Spanish people speak fast. But I'm reading the caption because I'm not a fast reader, right? So I'm reading the caption, and to unbeknownst to me, it's a phenomenal show. I'm like, I really like this show. I really like it. And so I watched it with her. And man, after I watched that show with my wife, that girl, the way she loved on me and smiled and hugged me and blessed me. And she said, you just don't realize how that moment made me feel. Now, here it is. Now, I was wrong. I was wrong. Yeah, Letitia, I was wrong. And I could have sat there and been in pride and say, well, she don't watch what I watch. I could have been there. I could have did that. I could have did that, and I could have sat there in pride and said, hey, nah, man. She don't watch what I watch. I ain't gonna watch what she watch. I could have said that, but I didn't. I got up and I went and took her that cookie, and I said, I'm sorry. I said, I come bearing gifts. And I gave her this little macadamia cookie. And come to find out she didn't eat the cookie because she was looking at her chocolate man. The cookie wasn't even thought about because of how I made her feel by not operating in pride. I was wrong. I was wrong. But I didn't let the pride get me because I could have messed up a whole day by being prideful. And some of y'all right now, you messed up a whole day being prideful, knowing you were wrong. Knowing you were wrong, you just did not want to apologize. You were wrong. You did not want to apologize. You did not want to say you were sorry. You did not want to admit you were wrong. That's pride. When you don't want to admit when you're wrong and you know you're wrong, that's pride, people. That's pride. And don't you let nobody nudge you on. Don't you let your friend, don't you let your little friend, your buddy, don't you let your BFF tell you, I understand, girl, I would feel the same way. No, man, you wrong. You wrong. You wrong. And that's pride talking to you that you can call yourself a man of God, a woman of God, a child of God, and you can operate in pride like that and not want to get it together. Your pride. And can I tell y'all something? I'm done. And I'm done. You know what got Satan kicked out of heaven? Pride. Pride. Pride got him kicked out of heaven because he didn't think he no longer needed to be submitted to God. He was wrong and didn't want to make adjustment. Pride. And let me tell y'all something. Man. You better stop getting high on your own supply. Man, that pride will kill you. That pride will kill you. And can I tell y'all something at Demonstrate Church? And I'm done. You should already be giving your offerings for the church. You should already give your offerings for the church. That should have been the first thing you've done. And if you want to sow a seed to Apostle, you can do that as well. Listen, thank you, Bioletta. Thank you, daughter. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Tasha. So all y'all giving. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, Clyde. Thank you all for those who give a share. Thank y'all so much for sowing already, Jeffrey. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you're part of Demonstrate Church, I'm going to tell you this again because y'all know. Thank you, Alicia, because y'all know how we do it at D8. If you in Demonstrate Church and you're messing up our camaraderie with gossip, with mess, with discord, I'm telling you again. Listen to me. Don't you let nobody disgruntled cause you to get kicked out of this church, because I'm telling you again, I'm not letting anybody, thank you, Rokita, come into this ministry and you all see what God is doing. And if you read Genesis chapter 11 at the Tower of Babel, thank you, Miss Durham. Thank you, Keyshawn. Thank you, Brother Knight. If you see, thank you, thank you, Miss, thank you, Sylvia, thank you. If you see in Genesis 11, the Bible talks about how everybody was with one language, they were all on the same page, had one voice. And the Bible said these people, because they were together, thank you, Amy, they were building a tower all the way to God. And look what God says. Look what God says. God says to them, he says, man, these people are one. And he said, because they're one, Genesis 11:6, he said, there is nothing that they put their mind to that they wouldn't be able to do. He said, if I don't go down there and confuse them, they will actually build a tower from earth to heaven. This is what God said. So you know what God did in order to stop them from building? He brought confusion. Because confusion is what stops building. And listen to me again. Y'all, and y'all are my witnesses. So if you ever see me on a Sunday morning and say, turn off the video, somebody's about to get kicked out of this church. Do you hear me? With the momentum that we have and the success that we're experiencing, I'm telling you now, and you know who you are, keep your mouth off this ministry and off your leaders and off people in this church. Because if not, we're going to call you to the carpet in front of everybody. And I'm going to ask you to gather your things and get out of this church and don't you ever come back. So if you know that's you want to leave now, go ahead and leave now. All right. Now y'all say, oh, why are you saying this? Jesus did this, man. And we in passion, but if those of you who are reading this Jesus stuff, Jesus sat down, went right his last, what we call the Last Supper. Remember? The Last Supper. So I want y'all to, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm not in my feelings or nothing. I'm just being the leader. Jesus says to his disciples, when they sat down at the Last Supper, you know, this is Jesus' opening statement to all of his leaders at the table. He said, one of y'all in here going to betray me. And watch it. And for those of you who say, I would never, look what they said. He said to them, he said, this is Jesus' opening. This is his opening soliloquy. Right? That's a good word for you, a soliloquy. This is his opening soliloquy to his leaders at the Last Supper. He opens up by saying, one of you here are going to betray me. And they all said, oh, is it me? Which meant that everybody who was in his life had the potential to betray him. So for you to say, no, that ain't me, I'm telling you, be careful at who you friend in this ministry and be careful who you allow to talk to you in this ministry. This is a phenomenal ministry, but there's some messy people in this church, and we're going to get them out of here. You hear me? I'm telling you. So I'm telling you now, you better clean it up or you're going to be moved out. So if you don't see them come back, you know I was talking about them. You understand? Jesus said, one of you here are going to betray me. All of them said, is it I? Because if all of us are not careful, somebody can even get to you. And then Jesus said and whatever you're going to do, we'll do it quickly. And then Judas revealed himself. Now you know why Judas betrayed Jesus? Because he had been talking to people who disliked Jesus. And let me tell y'all something. It's impossible to say you love D8 and love us, and you talk to people who don't like us. Eventually, it's going to change your heart, just like Judas did. And if your heart change, we're going to ask you to change your church. Got it? And you'll never find a place like D8. I can promise you that. We have thank you, Pastor Keita. Thank you, Dr. Mimi. We have a phenomenal thing going. And we will not, listen to me, listen to me. And if your allegiance have changed, if your allegiance have changed, we want you to change churches. But do not sit in D8 and not like me or Dr. Mimi, and definitely not like Dr. Mimi, and not like somebody in that church, and you spreading mist in this church. Because we've heard some things and they get back to us in your name. I'm just refusing not to call your name tonight. Your names. It's a couple of you all. So I'm refusing not to call your names tonight. But if I hear it again, I'm calling your names. Got it? Okay. So I'm telling you now, because what we're going to do, we will not let nobody stop us from building. Understand that? Got it? So get your mouth together and get your heart together. All right? Because we got some stuff to do. All right? And we're going to do it with you or without you. We would rather do it with you, but we definitely will do it without you. All right? Got it. Listen, I'm done, man. It was a guy named Clark Gable. He had a movie called Gone with the Wind. Hey, I'm going with the wind. Listen, is there any questions for me? If you have any questions, drop them. There you go, Dominic. Good to see you, D2. If you have any questions, man, you can drop it in the comments. If you have a comment or question, listen, I can I can answer your question if you have a question. Thank y'all for indulging me tonight. Hopefully you got something that you took away. I'm sorry I didn't have all my stuff on the screen because all of this stuff that I talked about tonight wasn't even a part of my presentation, whatever. So I'm already prepared for next Tuesday. I already got the teaching on, and we'll continue this teaching on don't get high off your own supply. Listen, hey, if you have a question or anything, thank you, Dre. Thank you, man. Thank y'all so much. Listen, like this video. Can y'all share this video one more time? If you're on here, if you have not liked it yet, like it now and then share it right quick, okay? And man, listen, let's have a great time on Tuesday, on Sunday, Thursday. Remember, leaders, listen, and Thursday night, every second and fourth Thursday, we do leadership and ministers class. Okay, so if you want to increase your Bible knowledge and ministerial skills, you're free to come to the class. You're welcome. So you're welcome, and you can come. It's no cost, it's no charge, but you're free to come. So if you're going to come this Thursday, we're studying the book of Ruth. It's 4 chapters. Read the entire book of Ruth, and we will have like a little quiz on that. So so I can't let you get I don't want you to get the sniffles and get sick because you can't make it. A question is, can pride be mistaken for compassion? No, it's no comparison. The two are not even in the same ballpark. Pride and compassion. It cannot be mistaken for that. Okay. Pride. No, they're two different things. Listen. It's Resurrection Sunday, right? And it's going to be bananas. Listen, let's show a big, invite somebody to come out, man. Let's continue to grow this church and grow this ministry. And man, God is going to bless it. Thank you, Keela. We're so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Listen, I love y'all, man. I love you guys so much. Dr. Mimi and I, we're so appreciative of you all. Hey, man, drop an $8 seed on this word if it blessed you tonight. The ways to give is on the screen. If you're watching the replay, man, we thank you. Remember, we have an 8:08 service and 10:08 service. I want you to stay on. It's 97, y'all. Don't drop off now. Stay on for we want you to get these announcements right quick before we get out of here, so you'll know what we're doing. I love y'all. Peace.
Joseph.